I'm Matthew, and welcome back to my four-part series on how to make a marble out of a rock, or in this case we're making one out of an agate. In the first part we talked about stones and the hardnesses. We took a Brazilian agate nodule and cut a slab, and then we marked and made a cube out of that slab. In part 2 I showed you how to rough it out, and by cutting off all the corners, making an octagon, then making a cylinder, then cutting the corners off and making it into a rough. In part 3 I showed you how that we took one of these carborundum blocks and roughed that sphere, that rough sphere, into a marble. Now in part 4 I'm going to show you how to polish them. So in part 3 I showed you these the carborundum blocks, and what I have now is I have a sandstone block that has a dimple in it. The sandstone isn't as rough and it's not going to cut it, so it's going to start polishing it. And then I made these little blocks here out of a piece of PVC and glued on the inside, and if you can get a close-up of that, what I did is I got they're actually for polishing granite. They're these 4-inch pads, and they kind of look like a waffle, a round waffle, but they have different grits of diamond in them. And I made these little blocks here for polishing, and they work really great. So I'm going to show you how to use that to get a real mirror polish on the marble. So let's go back to the rubber wheel. Again, I want to emphasize wearing safety glasses to keep any stray stuff from going into your eyes. Okay, that's starting to get pretty shiny. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my leather wheel on my progressive cabbing machine, and we're going to use my little blocks here with my little diamond pads inside of them and keep finishing that off. So let's come over here. Okay, what I want to do is I just want to wet this a little bit so that it grips my marble, and I want to get my spray bottle and spray inside here so that it will spin around. And I've got a 200 grit, and I just marked it on here, and that's how I'm going to start off first. Then I'm going to go to an 800 grit, and then I'm going to go to a 3000 grit. So on this first 200 grit, I'll work it around for a while, and sometimes you can hear it as it wears down the bigger scratches, but usually I work it for a minute or two with each grit. And the last grit, the 3000, I'll work it for 3 or 4 minutes to get a good polish on it. So I'm just about ready to switch now to the 800 grit. And you can really start seeing the patterns in there showing up. And they'll be more and more pronounced as it gets smoother and smoother. So I'll take the 800 grit, spray a little bit of water on here, spray a little water in here, and spray a little bit of water on there, and we'll get back into here. So I'll work again, I'll work this for a couple minutes, just working around. The reason I'm going around like this is so I get that marble to spin every which direction. So I'm covering all the sides and getting all the scratches out. Now one thing you have to remember, you really have to get all the flat spots out first before you come to this polishing, because you're not going to grind any of the flat spots out. This is only going to take those little fine scratches out. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I think I'm ready to go to the 3000 grit. Now my 3000 grit, one of the things I have in it, and I just have it here in my little jar, is I have some selenium oxide. And I like to take a little bit of selenium oxide here with my toothbrush, and I just take and put a little bit in here and a little bit on my marble, and this just helps polish it a little bit better with that 3000 grit. So we spray a little bit of water in, spray a little bit of water on our leather wheel, and get to work here. So this will be the last stage. Okay, we're just about finished here. Now one thing, this squirt bottle is really handy. The marble can get warm and hot, and you don't want to get it too hot or else it can crack. So stopping, cooling it down once in a while really helps. But we're just about done here. This is going to be a real good looking marble. Okay, we're finished polishing this little Brazilian agate marble. Remember, it started out as a cube, and we ground it down. I ground all the corners down. We took it to the rubber wheel and the carborundum block, and then we finished up here on the leather wheel with some cups here. I just want to show you how accurate this is. This marble is a 0.755 inch, or about 3/4 of an inch, and it's good to within 15 thousandths of an inch, or even less, actually about 15 10,000ths of an inch as far as accurate. So that's a great little marble. We've been making marbles here for a while. I just wanted to show you some of the marbles that we've made. So we've got quite a variety of marbles that we've made out of agate. We got some yellow agates, some Brazilian agate here. We've made an agate out, a marble out of a piece of a geode, some white chalcedony, some more yellow banded agate, some Karama jasper. This is a piece of pigeon blood agate, and some prairie agate that came from South Dakota. Anyways, thanks for watching my video on how to make a marble out of an agate. You can find some of these marbles on my website at Etsy, Marble Gems. That's the name of my website. Anyways, thanks for watching.